Hello lovers, welcome to the Butterfly Effect podcast hosted by myself, Lauren Amy. This is for those who are ready to take up space, who are living a soft life loudly and are ready to savor the sweetness in each moment. Here we're going to embrace transformation, the beauty of the in-between and the magic of becoming. So pull up a seat and listen in because life is delicious and it's about goddamn time we eat it up. She's being somewhat reckless, honeys. In fact, this is probably the most stupid thing I've done on the paddleboard yet. But anyway guys, welcome to the first paddle and pod and paddle, oh shut up Lauren. Welcome back to the Butterfly Effect podcast. Okay, I've literally just started recording this and there is a boat coming my way. So this is going to be a very short, well, who knows what this is going to be, but I feel like it's going to be quite a stop-start episode because there's a lot of people out on the river today. I knew I was going to go paddleboarding today, and I knew there was the temptation to see if I could record on the paddleboard, but my camera's not strapped in. I've not got like a waterproof case for it or anything. I'm just literally raw dogging this. I've propped my expensive camera up. There's a helicopter going by as I talk about this. Excuse me. Could you cease and desist, mute yourself? But anyway, like I was saying, I've not got the camera in a waterproof case. I've not got it strapped to the board. I'm just perching. But I like to think I've got good enough control and spatial awareness. I think my biggest fear is that I'm accidentally going to knock the camera off with my paddle. So, conscious note, let's not do that, Lauren. Anyway, guys, how are we doing? How are we doing? It's a delightful day. So this might be the first of many, or it might be the first of never again. But I hope you enjoyed. I've always wanted to vlog these paddle adventures because more often than not, it's just me, my own out here. I mean, there is a lot of people on the river, with it being such a nice day and with it being the Easter holidays. And I'm kind of thinking, can you guys just go away and leave me and protect my peace? But obviously I don't own the river, whatever. But I often have so many thoughts that pop into my head whilst I'm paddleboarding, because it's the real quiet, it's the calm, and you have there's nowhere else to go. You're on the board, your only options are to either go forwards or backwards. And obviously at some point you do have to turn around, but there's no other real distraction. So my mind just completely wanders, and it's often these moments where I have so many thoughts land. And last week's episode, well, last week to you guys, but for me it's today. So episode 53 was released today, and I've had a few follow-up thoughts as I've had a few messages come back to me with the opening statement of last week and how it almost shocked people. And I think that's such a good thing. I think it's shocked us all back into living. I'm going to again pause because there's a few people coming my way. That was actually so cute and so strange all at the same time. There's two teenagers that just paddled past me. And you can tell they're teenagers because they're talking about their grades, they're talking about their exams, they're talking about revision. And it's two young girls out on their paddleboard and they're listening to Fleetwood Mac. I felt like I just paddled past two mini me's. Hang on, I was the girl that paddleboarded and listened to Fleetwood Mac. That's my thing, you guys can't take it. But that's really sweet. I guess one thing about getting out on the river, paddleboarding when it's a nice day, is that you do see young people enjoying the outdoors as well, and it is that needed encouragement. But anyway, as I was saying, it seems like last week's episode was the shock we all needed to shock us back into living. If you can't remember, or if you haven't listened to the episode, I literally opened last week's episode with a reference to one of Florence Given's episodes where she started saying, I want you to start each morning like you've just been fucked. Like I said last week, it's worthy of repeating over and over again. And I had a gorgeous message from the lovely Caroline. I feel like I shout out Caroline so much on this podcast. But I love you, girl, top fan. But she messaged me saying that she heard that statement just as she got out of the car. She was about to take herself for a walk or something. And she said it gave her that kind of effect where it shocked her back into this uplifting mood. It shocked her back into life. And we all need that sometimes. And I'm actually thinking about my own life at the moment right now. Things have been very quiet, things have been very peaceful. I mean, look at me right now. It's gorgeous sun. I'm out on the river, mostly by myself, and things are just really peaceful. And I guess I'm craving some chaos. But I don't mean the chaos in a real emotional dysregulating way or a real nervous system dysregulating way. I'm craving something different, something new. But I don't know. I feel like I'm witnessing a few of my friends just go and seek life, and we have so many conversations. And one of my friends messaged me, she was like, I've seen this guy out and about and we keep, exchanging all these glances and everything. And she messaged me, she's like, do I go up to him and do I make a move? And I'm like, absolutely, fuck yeah. So I'm that person that will hype anyone up to do the thing. But for some reason right now, I'm not doing the thing. I don't know, or maybe I'm just in a dip where it feels like I'm not doing the thing, when in reality I'm probably doing many things. And obviously everything comes in ebbs and flows, everything comes in waves, so maybe I am just in that little bit of a dip. But I feel like I'm witnessing people around me seize the moment, seize an opportunity, and live. And it's beautiful to see. And I don't know, I think I'm trying to encourage myself to live a little bit more. But I really don't want to disturb my peace. I really don't want to disrupt what I've built over the past few months, especially. Things have just felt so calm. I visited home over the weekend and, obviously was met by questions like, how's your love life and everything? Was probably asked that a couple of times. And I was just like, I'm just not interested. It's just not my main focus right now. And that's all well and good. Sorry guys, I'm just changing position without knocking anything over. There we go. And that's all well and good, but I'm just kind of thinking that something needs to shift. Something's coming. I don't exactly know what it is, but I feel like something's on its way. And hiya. Nice day for it. Are you swimming?
Yes.
It's cold though, right?
It's 14 degrees.
Was it you that I paddled past a few weeks ago?
Yeah, most likely.
When the current was so strong and it was just carrying you back? Yeah. Oh, well done, well done.
I'm going to walk up before we do it and get in there.
Yeah, sure. I'll probably see you again at another point.
You probably will.
See, that's sweet. I love that kind of like little interaction. All the little connections you have by just being outside and just by living life. And I feel like that's what I'm missing. I'm missing out on like little connections like that, even though it seems like I'm doing the thing. I don't know, maybe I'm putting pressure on myself that I'm not doing the thing enough. Isn't that bonkers? But anyway, that guy's about to go swimming in the river, so I'm probably going to see him a little bit later on. I'm kind of tempted to dip my foot in and see how cold it is. That is, oh, Jesus Christ, that's cold. Okay, fair play to him. Fair play, could never be me. Could never be me. But I think another reason why I wanted to talk about this on the podcast and on the paddleboard is that I think we often spend a lot of our time looking for the point in things, or always looking to kind of prove a point, whether it's proving a point to ourselves, proving a point to someone else, or finding the point in life. It's like, take paddleboarding for example, right? Sometimes, not very often, I'll have to like convince myself to go out on the paddleboard, mostly because pumping up the board is a fucking chore, okay? Lots of you seem to think I have a 10-foot like hardboard like stored in my car. Absolutely not, my car's not that big. It's an inflatable. You have to pump it up and you can get these electrical pumps, but I'm a stubborn asshole and I'm a glutton for punishment. And I feel like when I've pumped up the board and I've got out on the river and I'm doing something for me, it makes it all worthwhile. I don't know, it like adds more that it's like I've proved a point to myself that I can do it, when really I can get an electric pump. I don't have to put myself through that punishment in order to have a nice thing. That's weird as well. Why am I punishing myself in order to treat myself? That's that's weird. This is what I mean. This is what happens when I spend time out on the water. All these thoughts, all these musings just rise to the surface, and I'm just like, this is really weird, Lauren. Why are you doing that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why that's happening. I guess what I'm saying is that there doesn't always need to be a point as to why we do things. You can do things, I mean, maybe the point is just life. Life is the point. Living is the point. So instead of doing something to prove something to anyone else, or even just to prove a point to yourself, just do it because you want to do it, you love it, it brings you enjoyment, it brings you fulfillment, it brings you peace, it brings you excitement, it brings you nourishment, whatever it brings you. If it's offering you something good, that is reason enough. That is the point enough. You are enough, you know? I don't know if all of this is making sense, but that's what's kind of like tickling at the forefront of my mind currently. That we always need to find a point for things. We're always looking for the point. We're always looking for the purpose. When the purpose is you, the purpose is life, the purpose is living. That's joyous. That's nice. I quite like that. And I suppose another thing that's been like right at the forefront of my mind recently is not only like this need to always prove a point to ourselves or to anyone else, but to do something solely for like, I don't know, financial gain, or to feel like some sort of success that we can measure in numbers. But I said this on a TikTok recently, and it was in response to a gorgeous woman who was feeling incredibly burnt out. I thought a duck was about to land on my board just then. But she was feeling incredibly burnt out, and she was feeling like the self-employed business struggles where numbers for her events were feeling low, and she just felt like she was failing. And I get that wholeheartedly. I think anyone who works in business, in fact, anyone who's anyone, has those moments of burnout, those moments of imposter syndrome, and those moments where you feel like what you're doing isn't enough. And she put this video up on Instagram, and I responded to it, and I was just like, your worth can't be measured in numbers. It can't be measured in likes on an Instagram post. It can't be measured in how much money you have in the bank. It can't be measured by how many people you have booked onto an event. Your worth is immeasurable, and it can't be put on a scale. And I think we forget that. I think we like to measure things, we like to compare things, we like to put a number to something, we like to quantify it. So sometimes we do things just for the sake of increasing that number, whether it's increasing financial gain or we have something to show for it. But if something brings you enjoyment, brings you pleasure, brings you fun, you can't measure that. You can't put a number to it, you can't put a scale to it. But we're desperate to do that. It's like we live our lives by scales and quantifiable measures, when really the best measurement is happiness. I was also having a conversation with a friend not too long ago. We were working in a coffee shop, and she said this half in jest. I don't want to like offend anyone. She's got very dry humor, and I understand her humor. But she said something like how she would be almost disappointed if her children were to work in a coffee shop and that was their career, that was their job, that was all that they did. And I kind of thought about it. I was like, I've actually always liked the idea of working in a coffee shop and, you know, being able to meet people, and I've always liked that idea. Maybe like combining it with a bookshop. I always had this idea. This was like particularly with my ex, but I actually think it was more my idea than our idea together. But I always loved the idea of having a theatre a couple studios, a yoga studio, and a cafe as part of it, and like it make this one big hub. And like, never say never. Still young, that might still happen. But I always thought, like, doesn't that sound like lovely? Doesn't that sound joyous? But she was saying, like, she's like, no, I'd be so disappointed just working in a coffee shop. That's all you're going to do with your life. And like I said, she said this half in jest, so I don't want anyone to be offended by that. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because, again, we're measuring success by how much money we have in the bank, by how much we own, by what mortgage you have. But happiness is the point of it all. Happiness is the greatest measure that there is. And I think the reason why that is because you can't measure it. So when we're looking for the point in all things, we're looking for the purpose. The purpose is to seek out whatever brings you that enjoyment, whatever makes you feel good. And again, whatever that is, it can't be measured. Like, if I could bottle up this feeling of being on the paddleboard, this peace, this calm that I feel that is hopefully being conveyed through this video right now, I would. And if I was a real money mogul, I'd bottle it up and I'd sell it and I'd give it a high price and I'd be making my millions. But it obviously wouldn't be authentic and it would be a lie. And I think in having that conversation with the woman who was having that wobble on her business and she was feeling a little bit burnt out, again, it brought it back to the reason I teach, the reason I do what I do isn't for financial gain. Unfortunately, money makes the world go round, so I have to earn, but that's not my main driving force. What drives me, what motivates me is being able to bring a moment of calm to someone's day, to empower them to try something new, to make them feel good about themselves for trying something new, and just to live without always needing to find the point or the purpose in something. And I totally get it when we're feeling like lost and we're lacking in that direction. We are kind of looking for that purpose, that life purpose. But I think we sometimes forget that the purpose overall is to just live. You have one life, live it as best as you can. So coming back to how we started this episode with that reminder of last week's opening statement, maybe that was the shock we all needed to shock us back into life, to shock us back into this one body, this one being that you have, and this life that's unfolding right before your eyes. But are you actually in it? Are you actually living it? Are you actually part of it? You know, life isn't something that just happens to you, it happens through you. And I think that's one of my favorite quotes. I can't remember where I first heard it, but yeah, life is happening all around you. And are you just going to let it pass you by? Or are you going to seek it out? Interesting. I think I've got some people coming behind me, but I just wanted to pause and let you guys have a little look around. Look at all of that. In fact, I'm going to stop talking just so you can hear nature in its all glory. Hiya. Got to have a paddleboard picnic. That's the only way to do it. Hiya. That was a real mix of people that just went by just then. A couple of couples. In fact, I think they were all couples. Yeah, some kayakers and some fellow paddleboarders. I mean, I know I complained that there's loads of people out on the river, but it is nice to, like I said, see so many people out enjoying the river. I never used to do this when I was young either. Like, this wasn't something that was like an activity that was offered, I guess. But also I don't think I would have been particularly interested in it when I was young. Paddleboarding is definitely something I found like later in my life, and I've absolutely loved it. So when I see like young people enjoying it, I don't know, that's lovely that they've discovered this so young in life and they are like getting outside and soaking up what a nice day this is. I think I'm just gonna float here and finish my mango. Oh, I'm about to float into a tree. Oh no. Spatial awareness, Lauren. Watch your surroundings. So nearly just lost my paddle to the river. God, risky business. Risky business. I might see if I can have a quick little lie down. Oh yeah. That's the stuff. I guess if you're searching for the point in things, I think I found it. I think this is it. Oh, risky business. Risky business. I feel like I'm gonna have to put my camera away soon because I am playing with fire. Oh my God. You know the swimmer that I bumped into? Oh, hang on, I'm gonna bump into... Ah! The swimmer I bumped into, well not bumped into, the swimmer that walked past me. He's swimming on his way to me now. Look at him go. There he is, there you go. Can you see him? That's determination right there. Anyway, on that, I think I'm gonna bring this to a close because I am playing with fire and having this camera just perching on my paddleboard, but so far so good. I think let's bring this to a close, but maybe this will see the light of day, maybe this will stay within my memory card, but I hope you enjoyed this little paddle and pod and paddle, and maybe I'll do more. I've always wanted to do them. I think I just need to get some better and safer camera gear.
Hey there.
Hello again.
Go on, you should be further than this now.
I've been very lazy. I've been having a little paddleboard picnic because I feel like that's the only way to do it.
Enjoy it.
And you. See how lush is that? But he's probably right. I should be further by now. I have just been very lazy. But yeah, like I said, I hope this turns out to be good. I have no idea. Or maybe I will just delete it and save it for my own memories. But yeah, if you're looking for the point of things, if you're looking for the purpose of things, the purpose is to live. So maybe last week gave you that little bit of shock value to shock you back into life. So now that we've had that shock, what are we going to do with it? How are we going to live? How are we going to seize the day? And I don't mean by doing anything drastic or dramatic. I just mean by just living, just getting out there and doing the thing that makes you feel alive. And for me, that is paddleboarding. Yeah. Anyway, hands, I hope you have a gorgeous rest of your day. Go forth and thrive, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Alright, stunners, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. I hope it has left you feeling suitably inspired. And as always, please don't forget to rate and review, like and subscribe, all those lovely things, as not only does this help the podcast grow, but it also helps us to reach more beautiful souls who need to hear these conversations. And of course, come hang out with me over on Instagram and TikTok at LaurenAmyYD, and follow the pod at butterflyeffect.pod. You can also dive deeper into yoga, meditations, poetry, and so much more with me over on Patreon. Until next time, keep living a soft life loudly because you know you deserve it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah!